My name is Whitmore. I'm from Big Rock Promotions, and over the years we've been involved in a number of projects. We've worked hard over the last few years to raise money for local charities, but this year we've decided to do something slightly different and focus on mental health issues in the North West Leicestershire area. Karen Watts, who probably been my friend for as long as I can remember. She works in mental health, and she's been pestering me for years to do a project, and it was always yeah when we get round to it, because it had never really affected me before, and at that time I didn't know anybody that was affected, and I didn't think it was a big enough issue. I thought there was bigger issues out there to deal with, but over the last couple of years I just seem to have attended funerals and heard stories of people that's really unwell, and I don't know, this just out of sheer frustration this whole project's evolved. It's so frustrating. There's so many people that I know in our community that's gone through some really traumatic stuff. I've got friends that have lost children through suicide. I've got friends that are going through serious depression and separation and isolation issues, and it just seems to be everywhere I turn at the minute, and why is that happening? I don't get it. So what we've decided to do is basically rip off Bob Geldof. If it worked in 1984, then my original thought was we could do a similar thing, and so we decided we're going to record a record. We're going to shoot a video of local people, not for any purpose of raising money, but purely to raise awareness, to get it out there and get it shared on social media and get it out into the community that it's actually okay to tell people about your problems, to share your problems, to unload your burden, and to make that the first step in recovery, really. So we've pulled a few people together, or I made a few phone calls, and everybody that I spoke to said yes, I'd love to be a part of that. And I was really overwhelmed at the response I got. I think I posted something online, and we ended up with about 150 messages that night of people just wanting to get involved in some way and offering support. So that in itself was quite an eye-opener. So we've took James Taylor's You've Got a Friend, Carol King's You've Got a Friend, and we've tried to make our own version of it, because I believe it adds context to the message that we're trying to portray, that people do have friends, even at your most vulnerable, when you think you're isolated and there's nowhere else to turn. There is generally always somebody there. So that's what we're trying to do. So the purpose of the track is to get it out there on social media and use this as a tool, really, to get the conversation started without preaching at people or without pushing people too far and making them feel uncomfortable. When we do festival posts, because we run a lot of festivals locally, if I post a message on one of our pages on Facebook, it tells me how many people I'm reaching, and on average I can post a random nondescript post and I know I'm reaching 10,000 people. So with everybody that's involved in this project, if they all come together and everybody just shares it just once on their timeline, and then in the hope that their friends will share it also, the amount of people that we could reach is astronomical. Now, out of that, if you only capture one or two people that we can positively make an impact on and help them when they most need it, then that's the end result. The longer term plan is we've got Deborah Moore and Karen Watts, which are currently building a You've Got a Friend website, which will contain information on professional help and how to go about contacting these people. There'll be a forum on there for people to discuss their own personal views and experiences and opinions. There'll be a whole host of information on there. That's part of the project. That's where we lead on to. And there's going to be a couple of events that we've got planned in for later, well, autumn 2017, winter 2017, and the possibility then of going into summer of 2018, where we're going to invite down mental health partners such as the Samaritans and Mind, and established professional services which can offer the real support. So basically all we're doing is showing them the way, showing people how to get to these people, because a lot of people don't know, a lot of people don't realise it. And there's some key people really that's just pulled all this together. Dave Moore from Studio 30 was one of the first people to get in touch with me and say, I'd really like to do something. And he's been absolutely fantastic. Everybody that's been recorded on the track, and I've lost count now, but I think there's over 40 musicians and singers so far. We've had gospel choirs, and today we've got another 40 or 50 people that's come down from members of the community, all to support the project. And Dave's been out there and he's been recording everybody and spent hours and hours and hours mastering this record together and making it come true, really. And then there's Tony Staniforth, who I have argued with for so many weeks. Every day we've had an argument about who should be singing what and where and why, and what sounds right and what needs to be moved. It's just took over our life for the last few weeks. But thanks, Tony. We got there in the end. To Richard Smith of Individual Pixel Photography for the hours of photo shooting and phone calls from us, and putting the whole video together, and the hours spent in post-event editing as well, to hopefully create the final project, which is going to go out to be seen by as many people as we can get to see it. Karen Watts, just for a sheer determination really, and her passion really is what's driven me forward, because she lives and breathes this. It's a massive part of her life, and without her drive we probably wouldn't have got this far. To the singers, the musicians, to the DMU Gospel Choir, to the community members, to the local press, to everybody that shared all the online content, it really just shows you what sort of a community that we live in, that people come together for the betterment of others. And I think you're all awesome, and I love you all. Thank you very much.